Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. Many of us have these moments where we just do not want to do the upcoming task that appears like a giant green-headed monster. We just want to escape into a paradise like Neverland, where we just get to do what we want to do whenever we want to do. But snap! We need to get snapped back into reality. Procrastination is like the opposite of ground reality. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why we procrastinate and what can be done to overcome procrastination and conquer our fear of the giant green-headed monster. The first reason is guilt. Here's this vicious cycle. Picture this for a moment. You feel guilty because you are procrastinating. And because of that guilt, you procrastinate even more. And then you feel even more guilty. And then again you procrastinate. And so on and so forth. The cycle keeps repeating. Now, if you couple this with other factors like low self-esteem, self-pity, low self-compassion, high expectations, then guilt magnifies the whole thing. If you are also being self-critical or feeling bad and anxious about it, then that blocks you from being resilient and resolving the situation. In fact, it makes it all the more worse with time. Fear of failure. Has this ever happened to you that you doubt your ability to finish a task? Add to it a sense of inferiority complex, and it makes the situation a whole lot worse. Demotivation. As it happens, you are not motivated enough to complete the task. This happens because sometimes you are prisoner to the extrinsic factors of motivation, like financial struggles, family responsibilities, competition, rather than the intrinsic motivators. For example, being the best in the team and having growth aspirations to be the CEO in the next 10 years. Dislike towards the task. Sometimes people are not motivated because of the dislike towards the task or of the people that they need to work with. And that creates a huge procrastination void for them. For example, if you have to make a call for something really big and important, but the call that you have to make it to someone you dislike, that can also be a factor for procrastination. Lack of self-control. Imagine this scenario. You have a meeting in the next 2 hours and you need to prepare a report, which takes about an hour or so. You decide to take it easy. You do whatever you want to do. Maybe do some other work or get into some YouTube videos or do something else. But then with time you realize all of a sudden that just half an hour is left for the meeting. And then you struggle and you completely work extremely hard for that half an hour to get that work done. And you somehow are able to do it in the last minute. But it's filled with mistakes. And then your meeting just does not go well. Perfectionism. When someone is afraid of making a mistake that they don't complete the task at all. Case in point, a writer who has made a book and it should have been published a year back, but he's still editing it again and again, trying to find perfectionism and delaying the release of the book. Context switching. Context switching is the paralysis which leads to lack of productivity. And it is a huge contributing factor to procrastination. Imagine this, you have a huge variety of tasks, all of them unrelated, and you have to keep switching each and every task. And let's say you have to respond to 200 emails in a day, and all of them are unrelated. Imagine just the time it takes to switch from one type of task to another. On average, as per industry standards, it takes 25 minutes to pick up from where you left off in a previous task. Lack of defined goals. Sometimes people procrastinate because they do not have a proper, predefined, smart goal. Their goals are vague and abstract. For example, let's give in a vague goal. I want to do well in my job. It's as vague and abstract as it can be. Contrast this with the specific goal, which is I want to get promoted in the next 2 years to an AVP corporate title and have 2 team members reporting to me. See the difference? Too much work. A lot of cases of procrastination is due to the fact that team members are overwhelmed with their work. If you have to work 17 hours for 2 days in a row and the remainder of the week you have to work say 11 or 12 hours, it's going to lead to burnout. It's going to lead to you feeling overwhelmed. And that's a key contributing factor to procrastination. Now that I've painted a really grim picture as to why people procrastinate, let me brighten up your shine and provide you solutions for procrastination. First off, start off by establishing your goals. Make your goals as specific and as sharp and defined as possible. If you have a set of goals that push you for growth, and if you have a vision and a purpose of what you want to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, that will be a driving force within you to keep working hard. And that will in fact go a long way in combating your procrastination. Next, figure out exactly why you're procrastinating. So I've listed on a few factors. Introspect deeply and see what applies to you. Figure out the what, when, where, how, and then create a plan of action. Create a mitigating plan to address the reasons for your procrastination. There are different anti-procrastination techniques which I will get into later on in the video. Use those techniques to mitigate the reasons for why you procrastinate and create a strong bulletproof action plan. And finally, implement your action plan. Keep monitoring your progress. Keep being honest with yourself and link everything to your goals. If you set a set of strong goals, if you identify the reason for your procrastination, if you create an action plan and if you implement it, monitor it, review it, debottleneck it, I'm sure in the long term you will be able to conquer the procrastination. And finally, let me share with you a few tips and a few anti-procrastination techniques which you can use. Prioritize tasks according to how important they are. Break large and overwhelming tasks into smaller actionable pieces and start off with the easiest actionable piece so that as you progress, your confidence improves and you will have the faith in yourself to complete the overwhelming task. Started on tasks by committing to only work on them for a few minutes. The hardest part is to start a task. So if you set a goal of just starting the task, even if it takes 2-3 minutes, you've done half of the work. Remove distractions from your workplace. Identify when you're most and least productive and then plan your day accordingly so that in your most productive phase, you will be able to complete the most amount of tasks. Set intermediate deadlines on your way to finishing the final task. Create a daily goal and keep track of the days in which you have been able to complete them, so that you can celebrate these small successes. Focus on your goals rather than just the small tasks. Think about the bigger picture, the larger picture, how it fits into your vision, your purpose, your overall long-term goals. Visualize your future self experiencing the moment where you get to complete a lot of tasks and complete your goals. Use the 5-second rule. Count to 5 before you get the urge to indulge in procrastination. Avoid the perfectionist mistake and accept that there will be a few flaws in the final product. As long as you get the work done, that's more important than not at all starting the work. Develop a belief in your ability to successfully overcome procrastination. Let self-criticism behind and practice self-compassion itself. Forgive yourself more often. Treat yourself like a friend. Give kind words to yourself. Practice self-kindness. Don't practice self-pity. Practice self-kindness and self-compassion and self-motivation. Be more emotionally resilient. Strengthen your emotional regulation skills. Get better at your emotional intelligence. Have a pulse on what emotion you're feeling and try to view it from a third party point of view, from an objective point of view. When it comes to context switching, you've got to be flexible. Keep writing and rewriting your to-do lists. Be dynamic. Be adaptable to change. Have a separate half an hour to 1 hour focus time where you're just focusing on your day ahead and multiple steps ahead, being proactive and looking at the past, what all things can improve. Have a separate portion of the day just for focus time. So there you have it, folks. I've spoken to you about the reasons why we procrastinate and shared with you the framework for how we can resolve procrastination, as well as a few anti-procrastination techniques. So do you have anything you can add to it? Any experience that you want to add to it, or any other technique which has worked for you or helped you out? Please write down in the comment section below. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.